Well, good afternoon, Australian expats based over in Saudi Arabia. Jeremy Harper speaking here, and I have some very exciting news on the mortgage front. Happy to announce that Bankwest are changing their credit policy as of Friday this week, the 29th of April. And so I want to go through some of the key changes and how it's going to positively impact you over in that region. As many of you will be aware that a lot of the banks will treat your tax-free income quite harshly at the moment, and when it comes to lending, many banks will still apply Australian tax rates against your overseas income, which means that from a lending point of view, we don't have many options, and quite often you hit your borrowing limit before you can afford, or before it hits a cash flow limit on your end. So I want to go through a bit of a scenario and some of the real life examples here, and I've run through and I've done the borrowing capacity with some different lenders, just so we can break that down and see if you fit this scenario and how these positive changes can impact you in terms of if you're looking to perhaps access some equity for some existing property you got back in Australia, or you're looking to purchase another property. We'll go through that. So very quickly, I've got a little client scenario here where we've got an Australian expat family living in Saudi Arabia. The applicant's earning 60,000 SAR a month, so about 295,000 Aussie annually. They've got one investment property in Sydney worth $1 million, renting that out for $800 per week. Existing Commonwealth Bank loan, $700,000 on that property, 6.5%, 25 years left. And then living expenses at the moment, they're paying $10,000 in SAR just for general living for the two of them plus their two kids, and then $15,000 in SAR per month for their rent. And so where they're looking to buy a second property in Melbourne for ideally about $1 million. They've got their eye on some property down there. Again, they're about $700 to $800 per week in rental income, which we'll use on the second property. And ideally they want an 80% loan. So we want to take out an $800,000 mortgage on the second property. So I've run some numbers. So going to Commonwealth Bank, yes, I'll accept the income, but from a borrowing capacity, when I run the numbers, it's at zero because I'll apply Australian tax against your income. So Commonwealth's ruled out completely. Heritage Bank, who's an option we can look at, we've got a borrowing capacity at the moment about $500,000, and they'll also only go up to an LVR of 70%. So we've got some restrictions around that. We've also got Bankwest now with their new updated policy. We can go up to an 80% LVR. The rate's at 624 approximately, so it's a prime rate. Borrowing capacity, we can go up to 850,000, so we've got a little bit more than we need. They'll also allow the ability to cash out. So in the future, if we need to take some money out for renovations, other purposes, and also if you need to do a construction loan. So for those who are looking to do some structural renovations, Bankwest will still support that application. So that's a big win there. And then that fourth option that we've got, MA Money, so a second tier lender, higher rate, 749. They've also got an offset. Borrowing capacity is about 1.6 mil, so very generous. That's more to do with how they'll treat the existing investment loan in Sydney. Plus I'll take 100% of your post-tax income. They do allow some cash out, and then there's restrictions around construction. And finally with MA, you'll pay a risk fee about 0.75. So that is an option in the back pocket. But obviously now that we've got Bankwest that have come to the table as a prime lender, it's very, very suitable. So I just want to give you that quick update. Very exciting. We'll send through this on an email update, and also put together a breakdown of this client scenario. So if you've got any questions, or if you want to run a credit scenario with myself or work out your updated borrowing capacity, we'll have a link in this blog post. So please reach out to us, and look forward to chatting to you soon. Thank you.